How's it going, resident of Collinwood here? And it's so goddamn late. It's ridiculous. My wife just told me it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. It is? Is it? I didn't notice. Um, this is my review. Oh, God. This is my review of J.P. Betancourt's The Return of Dark Shadows. You ever lose track of time? Anyone know? Series 10, Chapter 5, Demands of the Damned. I was curious about Angelique in this. And, you know, her obsession with love is a rather interesting one. It's a lot like a teenager, to sort of describe it. You have, you know, Angelique, who is obsessed and in love with Curtis Winters, you know, Vicky's son. And here, she's wanting to marry Barnabas to have all the power she wants to use him, but to be in love with Curtis. But there's part of her that is still very much in love with Barnabas. Yet though she does want to use him, it's sort of like a half truth, half lie. But she is so goddamn smitten with Curtis Winters and in love with Curtis Winters that she is willing to do anything, and I mean anything, to get him. Okay? Anything. Now, by anything, no, obviously, she sort of got him under a spell, and he calls her Cassandra because, you know, she lied to him. Go figure. I was shocked she sort of used a fake name, but because he wouldn't know. But she did. She used a fake name. She used Cassandra. Now, Victoria Winters, Curtis's mother, catches her with son. No, not that way. Catch your mother with gooder. That catches them talking. Not doing the other thing. Um, that would have been that would have been. I'm curious what would have happened if she'd have caught them doing that. Caught them in bed. That would have been an interesting conversation, none the least. But no, she catches them talking, and she's not too happy that Angelique, you know, how are you alive? You shouldn't even be alive. You know, she's trying to tell Curtis, look, you didn't kill Barnabas. He's not dead. Victoria Winters, now, you know, now there's a lot to worry about Angelique as well. Angelique is taking a lot of risks, and I'm going to get to that. But Victoria Winters, you have her son who tried to kill Barnabas Collins, and she's scared shitless Barnabas is going to find out and just snap her son's neck like a goddamn twig in front of her. And then you have Angelique, who knows Curtis did it, but she's so in love with him, she's not going to tell Barnabas because that means she would lose the guy she loved. And then you have Angelique, who is taking every risk. Literally, she's taking a risk that Barnabas won't find out. And trust me, now, Barnabas doesn't yet know Curtis did it, but trust me, he's sniffing around. in his own little way. He's making what I call inquiries. Detective Loomis got one hell of an inquiry. I could get to that. Look at his, you did. That was interesting, like him. But back to Angelique, real quick. I feel she took a lot of risk in these, and she's taken a lot of risk in these, especially here. You know, now she does cast a spell on Victoria to, do mess with her. But what I'll say is she's still taking a lot of what I like to call, I dare say it is a little reckless of her, and not being a little more cautious. I get she's a witch, but her lack of caution at times with Curtis is very concerning, and that lets you know her feelings are legitimate. Now, what gets really interesting in Collinwood is David and Soban, Detective Loomis McGovern, stops by and says, it's Julia H. Devereaux, and they connect the dots. That the H stands for Hoffman. Now, these three people there in the room, right? Guess who walks in the room? The woman, the detective, shouldn't be alive. And he's like, oh, I pictured the look on this guy's face, like, you did, right? What the fuck? That was probably the most priceless thing. And, like, the expression, I pictured the expression on this guy's face. It was priceless. Priceless. J.P. Betancourt does not make it hard for you to picture these characters. He makes it very easy to picture these characters, and that's one thing I applaud immensely on top of the storytelling. He makes it very easy for you to get into these characters and read about them. So Detective Loomis McGovern, reading about them and reading about him was very simple. Now, so Julia H. Devereaux, Julia Hoffman, is Quinn's grandmother, which is very curious when you think about it. Now, after all this news is broke and you have them discussing it, they're questioning Julia Hoffman. It's actually Shobahan. The interaction between him and her are very good. That you have a granddaughter, you should go to her. Here's Sobahan, who just lost a son. Her and David. Well, David, you get what I'm saying, Christopher. But yet she's telling her mom, Mom, that you need to go to this woman. And not, Sobahan isn't doing that for her personal gain or her own personal gain. She is doing it because she wants her mom to be happy. She wants her mom to be happy. But sometimes the past is the deepest goddamn wound you can open. And that's exactly what Julia Hoffman fears. She fears she goes down this road, it'll open up a whole shitload of wounds. which will you might want to stay tuned and come back next week. That now it doesn't say which ones in this. There's but next week, or maybe we'll see. I shouldn't say next week, but well, I shouldn't hint that it might be, but my feeling of that is we're going to get a lot into Julia's past now. And the one thing I'll say is, like I said, with the past, when you delve into a character's past, what I liked about that was, the past has a lot of wounds, it has a lot of hurt. And, we don't know what Julia Hoffman's life was like before coming to Collinwood, before coming to Wingcliff. And that's what was hinted in this story, this chapter. And I really like to delve deep, to sort of peek into the curtain and to see how far that really goes. And then to close this, you have Carolyn and Barnabas, and the foreshadowing of threatening to kill somebody is also imminent. Barnabas, in a sense, isn't necessarily, he isn't just threatening Carolyn. Yeah, he damn sure does that, and Carolyn threatens it back. But he's doing this to find out Angelique's lie. He's sort of Detective Loomis McGovern needs to take notes from Barnabas Collins at times in this, because now, does Barnabas believe Carolyn? Not necessarily, but it's not so much whether he suspects Carolyn, Julia. He knows deep down he cannot fully trust Angelique, and that's the reason he's sort of going person to person with the suspicion of them killing him, instead of just, going, "You killed me! You killed me!" He doesn't trust Angelique's words, and nor should he, and he knows this, so he's not exactly directly accusing them, but in the same sense, my daughter is awake at 3:30 in the morning. 3:30, my daughter is awake. And when I get off here, I'm going to say to her, she needs to go back to bed, where I need to go, I think. I hope. Now, the thing of this is, or I need to go to bed. Okay, yeah, one of those. And, I'm curious to see if Barnabas is just going to start killing. It's sort of on you're sort of getting the verge of, is he just going to start killing? Or is he going to stay patient and bide his time as well? What I'm saying is he going to say, screw the investigation of who may have murdered me, I'm just going to start killing sons of bitches? That is terrifying. And very well done. A very, very good job. I really enjoyed this chapter as well. I like how Barnabas is just sitting on her bed, closed the book, and then handed it back to her. And then she smacks him with the goddamn book. Link's gonna be in the description box. I probably won't have another video for her until next week. So, very busy, guys. I don't know if I've stated this on here. Me and my wife are going to be moving. So, hey. Alright, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Have a great one.